Well, for a while there was a lot of orbs on it, a lot of drones, definitely some dancing, and I'm really into like sourdough people right now. I live on Nantucket Island, which is a little teeny tiny island off the coast of Cape Cod. Yep. So we're 26 miles out to sea. I'm looking at the Atlantic Ocean right now.
Pilled up and drunk and sailing on their boat and miserable people. A lot of people think toothless,
Mm-hmm.
uneducated, trailer park,
Yep.
backwoods kind of, yeah.
But at the end of the day, what I love the most about Nantucket is it's very instant karma, at least for year rounders. Like you can't be a jerk and live here year round. You really just can't. It's too close. If you are out of integrity, you're going to be behind the person that you screwed over in the Stop and Shop the next day. I feel like you've got to be a little bit weird to want to come here. It's kind of like I always say, like, at least year rounders, they're kind of like those fish in the tank and Finding Nemo. Like everybody's like a little bit off, like a little bit weird. There's
Good.
something slightly wrong with everyone that lives here, but we all kind of make it work. So yeah. Oh
Proud
my
of this woman.
God.
Pretty
Now I'm
wild.
obsessed.
I definitely, I want you to just totally rip me apart today. That's the
Oh my
goal.
God.
Nothing,
Okay.
nothing is off limits on my end.
I am so grateful that you shared that. I have been following you, and I love your page, and I love what you're doing. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm like Teresa Caputo, like the Long Island medium for your soul. I have a real hard time operating in a world that feels really fake. And I feel like if we're going to, if we're going to be ourselves, we have to be super real. I was really just like a voyeur on TikTok. I was not like it.
Sounds so dangerous.
It like really it felt like home. Like, I just don't know. I feel like that app favors authenticity. And I think that you've probably felt the same thing. I don't think that app favors authenticity. I think it favors more of a curated sort of like vibe. It's gone.
Mhm.
And I hadn't really even started posting on there. By that point, this is him right here. Is my son coming up.
That, I'll meet you anywhere. When the hell did a human being say, you know what? Fuck you and where you want to meet? When did we lose all of that? Do you feel as human beings?
There's this thing happening right now where people are starting to, what I would refer to as quotation mark, wake up. It's kind of what happened to you in 2019. That I feel like people are starting to remember things and they don't know what they're even remembering. And I think that what we have co-signed on this planet for a really long time is you get to play a part. You get to play a role. Whatever that means. Maybe it's in your family. I'm an Irish person. I'm sure. Like,
51%, baby.
What? Yeah,
I am.
51%.
I'm 51% Irish.
Okay, perfect. See, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like, I'm Irish. I grew up here. I have this. I am this. This is my family. That we start to assume this collection of like labels that qualify us, but nobody really knows who they are. And I work with people all over the world. Anything from like, multimillionaires, that I know from this island to people in Australia. And what I believe people have been taught is the definition of success, whatever that means. If you have this, this, and this, you'll be happy and successful. And I think people are realizing like that is absolutely not true. And people are having these experiences, panic attacks. Some people call them a dark night of the soul. Some people call them a midlife crisis. Other people call them an awakening. And they're like, I can't live my life like this anymore, but I have no idea or no model of what it looks like. And I feel like the only way to really truly be happy is to be authentic. And authenticity is not about like, I'm nice, I'm a good person. Authenticity means I am the totality of all my trauma and shit and stuff I've been through, in my life, and the fullest potential of who I could be at the same time.
I obsess over making sure people feel loved, heard, appreciated, honored at the cost of myself.
I'm not going to give somebody directions to places I haven't been or wouldn't go. Like when you have a moment like that when you're 10 and it's 1987, you're not like a gifted intuitive. You're a crazy Irish Catholic kid that has problems. I understand what it feels like to be misunderstood. I understand what it feels like to feel lost and alone. I think that's the kind of love people are looking for, of people that are not going to get scared off by their difficulties, and just sit with them and
that's a
hold space.
I think
Somebody said to me, like, you know, I consider myself to be a spiritual teacher, but I'm equal parts healer and hood. I've always said it. So I'm petty. Like, I'll come for it. I'm like, I love sarcasm. Like, sensitive souls do one of two things. They're either going to people please or they're going to become assholes. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm typically modifying people's perceptions of me in exchange for acceptance, when I start to set boundaries or I start to say no, they get uncomfortable and I get uncomfortable, and I'm going against societal norms of what a good person is supposed to do and be.
it's grief that brings us together. It's this idea that we all want to feel a part of a fucking community so bad. To look at someone who I can, I have hyper, I know, I know who's hurting. Like I can feel it. I see that.
Absolutely.
And to look at them and to just give them that affirmation and acknowledgement for me is what I want so fucking bad. And so that's the door I want to walk through.
You pretty much know that you're not a narcissist if you've ever considered that you were. Authenticity is a paradox. This is how I describe authenticity, like real quick, just so you know, is when you are equal parts a piece of shit and the shit at exactly the same time, right? Authenticity is the highest frequency on the planet, higher than love. It's higher than love because you can't interact with love responsibly unless you're super authentic. Inner solidity. I call it being unfuckwithable. We don't have a mental health crisis in this country. We do not. We have an authenticity crisis. People do not know how to be themselves. This is my rule of thumb, Nathan. Yeah. I don't take constructive criticism from people that haven't constructed shit. But with people that are not at that level of awareness, without 1 ounce of judgment, their opinions don't have enough value at that level to give anybody any kind of advice about how to live their lives at all.
No, motherfucker, like you're being that way because there's something like you just said that needs to be listened to. And I think that acknowledging and permitting self to feel a certain way is a beautiful, beautiful suggestion.